All right, let's do this. So you might be wondering what this is, and I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's actually a lamp. This is not mine. This belongs to a friend of mine, but since I'm an electrical engineer, he gave it to me and was like, can you fix this please? You'll get first dibs on it if I ever give it away. So our goal is to try to fix this. What I've been told is that when you have it plugged in, you give the butt a squeeze and it will light up. I don't know if there's colors or anything. Hopefully we'll see that later in the video. I'm Sage, and in this video, I'm gonna be trying to fix this butt lamp. Okay, so I think the first thing I need to do is just test to see if I can get this to turn on. So there's a plug in the back, but what my friend said is going wrong with this is that he says the plug doesn't seem to work. He thinks this socket needs to be replaced. He didn't give me the charger for it. So I think the first step is going to just be to take the back panel off and see if I can power it with the power supply. So let's do that. There's something, oh, there's like a pressure sensor. That's cool. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can zoom in on this. So right here, we've got some kind of chip. Not sure what it is. These all look like they're either RGB LEDs or individually addressable. This is probably a voltage regulator. This is our voltage input. I'll look up the part number on that. And then this is our pressure sensor. Well, really just a pressure switch. It just has 2 leads on it. I think my next step is to look up the part number on this chip and see if I can determine, and maybe this regulator here, it's actually labeled VR1. So I think it's a 78L05. Oh, it's a 5-volt regulator. Okay, pretty sure that's a pretty standard 7805 type regulator. Of course, I don't have my phone on me. Let me go grab that. All right, so I've got my phone now. I'm gonna look up this chip here, which I think is the 5-volt regulator, and then I'm gonna look up this chip. So this one here is, oops, 78L05. Yep, 5-volt, 100 milliamps. So to me, that implies we can probably feed these a wider voltage range. I'm gonna assume this is just 12 volts. Let's look up this chip now. A little harder to see that one, but this says, there's 2 numbers. I'll start with the top one, 15W202S. Okay, yeah, that's a STC 15W202S. This is a microcontroller. The datasheet says, in abundant supply, based on the high performance 1T architecture 8051 CPU, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's just a cheap microcontroller. Operation range 5.5 volts to 2.4 volts. So I'm gonna guess that we can probably just give this 12 volts and be okay. So I'm gonna grab my lab power supply. It's gonna make horrible beeps. See? I'm gonna set the voltage. I'm gonna set it to 9 volts and start at that. Amperage. I'm gonna set to 500 milliamps, I think. And then I happen to have a little bin of connectors over here. Though I'm not sure I have any of the male side, now that I think about it. Okay, I don't have any of the male end of the plug, so I think what I might do is just try, I have a power supply that'll do to 12 volts, and then I have, here's one at 12 volts at 200 milliamps. This one's 5 volts at 1.5 amps. So I'm gonna try the 5-volt one first. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be, oh, never mind, I'm not gonna try that one. The plug is too small. Well, we'll try the 12-volt 200 milliamp one first. I mean, I could also chop the end off of this one. That might be better. That way I don't have to stress about whether or not I'm getting the right voltage right off the bat. Thankfully, power supplies like these are super common and easy to find. Recently, I was at an estate sale and I just piled a box full of random power supplies and other electronics and offered them 30 bucks for it, and they were happy to take that. So to figure out which way I should plug this in, I just need to measure from the positive terminal to the pins in there. So you can hear it beeps. So if I go from here to that middle, okay, yeah. Center is positive. That's pretty normal, but every now and then you run into something where the center is negative and you definitely don't want to mess it up. Then for this one, let's see, is it the white stripe or is it something else? The one with the white stripe is not getting continuity to either side. Okay, the one with the white stripe is negative. White stripe is negative, no stripe is positive. There we go, positive, negative. Got this hooked up, plug it in. The power supply is not actually on yet. Make sure these two don't touch. And let's turn it on. Okay, so it turns on. That switches the colors, and then yep, okay. I don't see any problems with this. Okay, let's put it back together. Well, now I have it all put back together, but the problem is, if I move it around, especially if I wiggle the plug around, you can see that the actual plug itself is having issues. So that's unfortunate. All right, it's back apart now. This is the actual little plug here, and it's a pretty simple, it just goes straight through the board there, and should be able to unscrew just with a set of pliers. So now I'll screw it like that. It's got this little set of leads attached to it, and I would like to keep those, so I'm going to sort of chop those off. I do have a box of similar attachments here, so that should be the same size and style. Let's just make sure our test plug fits there. Yep, that fits well. Let's get our wires from this out of the way. Shove that out of the way a little bit. Zoom back out to do some soldering. Don't forget your safety glasses. I've had many hot solder blobs fly, hit me in the arm, and thankfully not yet in the eyes, but if I weren't wearing safety glasses, that might be more likely. Go ahead and strip these off. And I'm just gonna get a piece of paper to lay under the soldering, just to protect my work surface. All right, my soldering iron is to temperature. So we clean it off, tin it. Now tin these wires. Just solder the wires in straight like that. We can put this back to the board now, and then just screw it in place like this. All right, that's installed. Let's just make sure everything works with the power supply. Yep, that looks good. And wiggling the cable, no longer causes issues. Okay, that definitely took a little bit longer than I expected, but as you can see, it works now, and you can change the color with this knob on the back, and give it a whack, turn it on and off, or squeeze. I definitely made the mistake of initially not testing to see if the plug on the back would stay on if it still wiggled, so that was the problem. The original plug here was wearing out, and so it would work most of the time, but if you wiggled it, it would stop. You can see now, though, it stays on. I think there's one more thing we need to do with this, which is give it a clean. I don't know if it comes across on video, but this thing is dusty. Partially from sitting on a shelf in my house for a little while I waited to get ready to fix it, and probably partially from just being something that hangs on someone's wall. Fantastic. Looks like this is back working, and I feel confident I can give it back to my friend now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.